It is time for this week's Happier at Home, and this morning we are talking about virtual doctor's visits and how we can help our older loved ones prepare. Deb Marcello joining us now. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Good to see you in red, lady in red.
Thank you.
I know last week we were talking about doctor's appointments in person, but virtual has now become a thing, especially with COVID.
Yes.
Describe the benefits for the elderly with these virtual appointments.
Well, it's very convenient. You know, you don't have to go out of the house, but you really have to make sure that this is right for you. It can be similar to having an in-person appointment,
Sure.
but you have to make sure if you're having some symptoms where you feel that having an in-person appointment is best, make sure you voice that to your doctor as well. But certainly the convenience of it is great, but you have to be prepared for that visit.
Okay, so how does someone prepare? Say I've got a loved one, never had a virtual appointment before. Step one, what do they need to do?
I say contact the doctor's office in advance and understand what the connection is going to be like. Is it going to be just a phone visit, or is it going to be a video conference?
Okay.
And if it's going to be a video conference, what kind of connection are they going to use? Is it going to be FaceTime, Skype, Zoom? And these are new things, especially for the elderly. So understand that, contact the doctor's office, and sometimes they have an instruction sheet that you could go by to set that up in advance. So don't wait till last second and make sure you do that.
Yeah, because this could be a whole new world to navigate. I mean, even for myself, it is convenient, but yeah, you want to make sure you've got the right connectivity and all that. Okay, so understanding the technology, and say once you've downloaded whatever Zoom, Skype, or whatever you need, what's next?
Now, I do a lot of work by video conference, and sometimes there's barriers such as your connectivity. So making sure that you have a good internet connection. When I'm going on to video conferences, I have to make sure everyone in my house is off of streaming, off of their online devices, because if everyone in your house are on different devices, then it could decrease your connectivity. So you want to make sure everyone is off so you have a good connection. Make sure your device is fully charged as well, so you're not scrambling last second to make sure it's charged and that kind of thing too.
Yeah. One note you have in here is dress appropriately.
Yeah. So you have to understand that if it's a video conference, your doctor is going to be able to see you. And something that you hear of all different funny stories that they didn't realize they're going to be able to see them. And you might not be dressed appropriately or dressed at all. So make sure that you are dressed appropriately.
Yeah, they're not doing physical exams over. They'll want to see you in the office probably for that. So
right. Yeah.
Obviously finding a quiet space, but I know last week we talked about, having a loved one in the actual office with you, but same thing it goes for virtual appointments as well.
Yeah, so make sure you have something to write down with. Write notes down. If you have a loved one that can be present with you, make sure you have someone with you, because then they're able to bring up questions that you might forget to ask. And this goes along with what we were talking about last week as well. Making sure that if you have questions, speak up, but be direct and to the point and not trail off into a long story about things, just to make sure that you're getting to the point and the important information you have to convey.
Yeah. The one thing I took away from our conversation today was that if you want to meet in person, advocate for yourself, because just because virtual is offered doesn't mean you have to have that. So that's important to note as well. Deb, always good to see you. We'll see you next time. Local headlines are coming up next.